Well, hello, Jamie Trull here. Happy Wednesday. It is a pretty spring day here, so I went spring clothes today. Some color. When you get here, tell me you're here, say hey. So we are live right now on my YouTube channel, Jamie Trull, in my Financial Literacy for Women Business Owners group, and also on my Facebook page for Jamie Trull. So wherever you're watching me, say hey. This is live. So I just want to say hey to everybody who's watching. And so today's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to talk a little bit, I'm going to take it back a little bit because I want to introduce this group. If you're watching me in the group, if you're watching me on YouTube, I want to tell you about my Financial Literacy for Women Business Owners Facebook group, what it is for, who I am, because I recognize that we have had a lot of people who have been around for a while, but I haven't really taken the time to actually introduce myself and what the purpose of the group is. So I wanted to take it back a little bit and just give people a place to start. So if you're new, if you just joined the group, or even if you've been around for a while and you're kind of trying to get your bearings and figure out what's what, this is a great place to start. Okay. So I'm going to start by just introducing who I am. So we're going to talk about who I am. We're going to talk about the group, how to get answers to your questions in the group, whether they be related to regular financial literacy type questions or whether they're related to things having to do with the COVID-19 stimulus things. And we're going to talk about what we stand for in this group. We're going to talk about the how to get the help that you need if you need a step up in help in any way. I'm going to tell you your options there. And I just want to kind of chat with you guys a little bit and say, hey, so I see a bunch of you guys here. I see Kari, I see Mark, I see Stacy. Hi guys. So who am I? Let's start with who I am. I'm Jamie Trull. So some of you know me, some of you have been around and watched these lives and watched my content for a while, and some of you are brand new and have no idea who I am. So I'm Jamie Trull. I'm a CPA by trade. So that's a certified public accountant. It's super nerdy. That is my background. But now what I call myself is financial literacy coach and profit strategist. That is what I do in this capacity. When I'm talking to you guys, I'm helping you teach. I'm an online educator, and I use my CPA background and my corporate finance background to do all of those things. So I rarely tell my story around here, so I figured I would start with that around how I got to where I am today. Right? What was my background and where have I been, and how did we get to financial literacy for women business owners where you are watching me? So my background is I started out in the audit world. For any of my CPA friends, you know what that is like. So I started out in Big Four auditing, then moved on and spent 10 years. The bulk of my career was spent at Coca-Cola Enterprises, which turned to Coca-Cola European Partners. It's basically one of the major bottlers for the Coca-Cola company. So I was based in Atlanta. I rose up in the ranks in their finance department. And when I left, I was the associate director of financial reporting and technical accounting. Sounds super fun, right? It was about the longest title imaginable, but I was in leadership in their finance department. And what I did there was, when you see, I don't know how many times you guys are looking at 10Ks and things like that, and you're pulling up the financials for a big public company. That's what I did. I wrote them. So I wrote with a team, of course, but I wrote and managed the team who wrote the 10Ks for that company. So Fortune 100 company. That is what I did. And so I wrote the story. A lot of what I wrote was, yes, the numbers, the P&L, the balance sheet, the cash flow statement. I did all of those things and managed all of those things. But I also was a part of writing the story of what happened with the company. So what does that mean? That means, well, we can see the numbers, but what's the story behind what happened with volume, right? The amount we sold. So we would talk about, things like, well, we sold more cans and less bottles, right? We sold more in supermarkets and less direct to consumer in like restaurants, right? So we would have all of those conversations and not just talk about the numbers, but explain them, explain the why behind them. So I was oftentimes a part of those meetings with leadership talking about, okay, we're not hitting our targets. What do we do, right? What are the things that we can do to help here? So I loved doing all of that. I loved that. I loved being in the room, having those conversations, trying to figure out how we're gonna meet the targets that we had set, how we could improve performance, all of those things. What I didn't love, as some of you guys probably know, because you guys are mostly business owners that watch me, right? I didn't love the whole corporate world. I didn't love, sitting in my little office and having to be in the office from 8 a.m. till most of the time after 6 p.m, right? I didn't love the environment. I didn't love the busy seasons. Oh my goodness, you guys. There were times that I've worked 80 to 100 hours a week for weeks and months on end in my career. And so I'm also a mom. Those of you guys who have been around for a while know that I'm a mom. So I have a just turned 7-year-old and just turned 4-year-old. And so when I started to have kids, it started to become more difficult. And that was at a point where I got in my career where there was a lot of pressure and there was just a lot that needed to be done. I went through 2 multi-billion-dollar mergers, you guys, at this company. 2. And they called them once in a lifetime mergers, but I've been through 2 of them. So I call that a lie. And during my second multi-billion-dollar merger, that was when I kind of had a moment of, I was 8 months pregnant. I was tired. I was working around the clock. I was managing, and this doesn't mean a lot to anybody who's not an accountant, but I was managing a transition of this big public company. We were doing a inversion. So we had done a big transaction. We were inverting, moving our headquarters from Atlanta to London, converting from US-based accounting principles, US GAAP, to IFRS, which is international accounting principles. And that was the project I was leading to close this mega billions of dollar deal. And it was exhausting. It was exhausting. And so I decided at that point, you know what, I could either move to London and continue this career path, or I could leave Atlanta, move here to Nashville, which is where I moved. This is my home, and have my daughter and do something different. So that is where I was roughly 4 years ago at this point. And I started doing some consulting jobs and things like that on the side, started building my business a little bit on the side, did a lot of different things, and then found my sweet spot in being a virtual CFO. So I loved that. I loved being a virtual CFO for women-owned businesses specifically. I went into those businesses and helped them figure out, okay, what's going on with my profit margins? What's going on with my pricing? What's going on with my costs? How do I manage my cash flow better? How do I better set up my P&L so I can understand what's going on, right? Helping them make those financial decisions in their business and feel more confident in them. So that was what I loved. But then my service providers will also understand this, right? You get to the point where you are trading dollars for hours, right? You're trading dollars for hours constantly. And again, I had little ones at this point. I had still, my daughter was 2 around the time that I made the transition to say, okay, we're going to change this. I had a big, long waiting list of clients that I couldn't even get to because there's only one of me. And I didn't really particularly want to hire in that capacity and manage a whole bunch of knees. So I had to figure out what I wanted to do. And I sort of accidentally fell into teaching. I realized when I was a virtual CFO that there was a huge chasm of financial knowledge specifically, and this is not a stereotype at all, but specifically with a lot of women business owners that didn't feel like they were connecting to people, to the people that were out there giving financial advice, right? As women, we like to have somebody that we relate to. We like to have somebody that explains things in terms that make sense. And there just was not a lot of that. And I'm a huge proponent of women starting businesses, taking control of our lives, being able to have flexible lives, because a lot of us are mothers or have other things going on that we want to be present for. I know a lot of people want to get out. A lot of women specifically come into this job because They want that flexibility. They don't want to be stuck behind a cubicle working a million hours a week under somebody else, right? And so for me, I just have this passion of combining that passion that these entrepreneurial women have and the amazing proficiency they have at the thing that they do with the financial knowledge to be able to put it together to just explode, right? To just explode and really help give you permission to do that, to empower you to learn the things you need to do to grow your business. And this is a stat that I give a lot, and it is one that is actually the reason that I started my business. And that is the fact that 40% of private sector businesses are owned by women. That's pretty good. We're actually probably higher than that now. This was a couple of year old stat. We're probably higher than that now. But at least 40% of private sector businesses, right? Like not your big public companies, but private sector businesses, entrepreneurs, small business owners are women. That's great. That sounds pretty good, right? In the grand scheme of things, we're coming from behind here. Like that's pretty dang good. I want you guys to guess, actually. What do you think the percentage of revenue is that women-owned businesses generate? So 40%, right, of private sector businesses are owned by women. How much do you think that we make from a revenue perspective? What percentage? So obviously, if everything was on par, that'd be 40%, right? That would be getting kind of the equal part of the pie. I want you guys to just guess. Hopefully somebody will give me a number that I can play with. And I'm going to tell you the answer. But this stat was jarring to me when I first heard it. And I said, okay, there's something going on here that needs to be addressed, right? Women are significantly less likely to, nice try, Mark. I like, this is funny because my women are answering completely different. Mark says 65%. Okay, Mark says 65%. Look at all my women responses. All right, you guys. So this is exactly it. Women are make 4% of private sector revenues come from women-owned businesses. 4%. Okay, 40% of businesses. 4% of overall revenue. Women are significantly less likely to ever hit that $1 million mark, right? Women are significantly less likely to hire in their business. They're also significantly less likely to be given access to capital in their businesses. There's a lot going on here. And so a lot of this goes back, years and years and years and hundreds of years, right? I mean, there's a lot wrapped up in what's going on here. But one of the things that drives me is we can together, right? We can move to something better. We can move to something bigger and helping give women even sometimes the permission that we need to go for that thing. I know for me, when I made that shift, I needed the permission to really go for my dreams. And I think sometimes we don't think that we have that permission. I think sometimes we think that we have to give that we have to make a choice. And that was something for me that I really, really struggled with until I realized that I need to lean into who I was made to be and what I was made to do. And you guys, I can tell you 100%, I was made to do this. I was made to help you. And I was made to be here to help people also from the standpoint of working through, a lot of the COVID-19 relief and things like that. I very strongly believe that was the path that I was supposed to be on to be able to be here and to be able to help. But that's where my passion comes from. And yes, of course, Mark, my man, Mark, he's in my program. Like I love also serving men-owned businesses 100%. But my heart is in helping women grow their businesses. That is why I started financial literacy for women business owners. This group has been around long before COVID-19 and all of these things. This group has been here. We started it, I believe, in July of 2019. So we're going to have a big party, I think, this year when we hit 2 years. But this group grew to 1,000 people in the very first month that I had it. And I just started showing up and teaching people and business owners and entrepreneurs and self-employed people, right, how to take better control of the finances in their business. So that spans from basic financial literacy, right? What are financial statements? How do I read them? What are taxes? How do I pay them? How do I calculate them, right? All of that, all the way to the strategic side of your business, which is pricing, profit margins, cash flow management, right? All of those types of things that also are part of being a business owner. And that even when you have help, right? Even when you have help with some of this stuff, we need to be empowered as a business owner and we need to understand it. We need to advocate for ourselves and have a basic understanding of a lot of these concepts. And then also partner with people to help. So every single Wednesday, I am here at 10 a.m. Central Time. Usually I'm doing a topic that's more based on some kind of financial literacy type topic. So spanning, all the things we just talked about. Then right now, depending on when you're watching this, if you're watching this on replay, this may change, but right now I've been doing a live at 1:30 p.m. on Fridays Central Time. That is a stimulus update and Q&A. So that's all the new stimulus stuff. That's where we talk about PPP, EIDL, unemployment, all of those different stimulus topics, any new things going on with stimulus bills, stimulus checks. That's all on Fridays. And I started that. It's really funny to look back, you guys, because I started that it's been a year. It's been a year. This week really marks a year. The CARES Act was passed on March 27th. And at that point, obviously, it didn't make sense to be talking about, well, how to be more profitable in your business when people's businesses were all shut down, right? Well, there was nothing else to talk about, and people kept asking questions about all of this COVID relief. And I said, okay, well, if this is what people want to know about, this is what I'm going to learn about, because there's nobody who's an expert at this point in time. So I guess it's going to be me. Might as well be me, right? You guys, sometimes we just need to take that attitude. Well, I guess it's going to be me. And so I just leaned into it and I learned it. I sat down and I read the entire CARES Act, 800 pages. I just kept up with it. Was this my intention? Not even a little bit, you guys, not even a little bit. We are a year in, still doing these lives on Fridays, still doing a lot of content, getting so many questions in the group that's all about this COVID stimulus. But what I want to say to you is, number one, it has been the pleasure of a lifetime to serve you guys in this capacity. And I don't know when it's going to be over. I know it's not over yet, but I hope that you stick around even when you don't need help with PPP anymore, and your PPP has been forgiven and we're not thinking about it anymore, and the world is back to whatever normal is after this. I hope you stick around here. And I say that because I think that a lot of people also realized in this journey over the last year that from a financial perspective, there is more that they want to have from a knowledge perspective, from an empowerment perspective, right? They want to do things differently. They want to be more prepared. If you want to be more prepared next time there is an emergency, right? If you want to really feel like you're in control of your finances, I can help you do that. And like I said, I show up here for free. I do sell some things. I'll tell you about that in a little bit, but most of what I do is completely for free. So I hope you stick around. I hope you keep showing up to things, even when they're not related to PPP and what's immediately on your brain. And these are more long-term things that are going to help you grow and scale your business and have a successful business, because that's what I want for you. So thank you, Joyce. Thank you. So that I have this fear because our group is so engaged and it is wonderful. My biggest fear is just to be like totally vulnerable with you guys, that when things calm down, and I can't wait for them to, because that means the world is getting back to normal, that all of a sudden our engagement drops way down, and all of a sudden people don't show up for lives, and all of a sudden it gets to be crickets. And I want to continue to serve you. And I hope that I've given you, I've built up some trust in you that I can help you to that next level as well. Okay. So you guys are sweet. Thank you. Yes, exactly. So more about building your business. And I'm here to help you with all of those things, because it all comes back to finances at the end of the day, right? It's not all, I don't all just, yes, I teach taxes and all that stuff, but finances is numbers. Finances is revenue. Finances is profit. Finances are how do I spend the money in my business? How do I price my products? How do I monitor my profit margins? All of those things. And so I just, I want you guys to continue this journey with me, even well beyond what we're dealing with here. You guys are awesome. You guys are so awesome. And Jocelyn's in my program too. So I'll tell you a little bit too about what I do. So people ask me, I get a lot of people asking me like, hey, can you do my PPP application? Hey, can you do my taxes? I don't do any of that. So I was a service-based business. I did do, like I said, virtual CFO services. So I did strategic services. I partnered with business owners to do that. I moved away from that when I realized the impact that I could have serving the many instead of just the one. Right. And I love working one-on-one with people, but I love even more being able to impact as many people as possible. That's why I show up here all the time. That's why you see my face everywhere around your Facebook, because I love to show up and help you in any way that I can. So what I do instead is something that's a little bit more scalable for me. I have programs that I offer. And they really span. So there's two main programs that I offer. One of them is my financial fitness basics course. If anybody's taken it, if anybody has bought my financial fitness basics, let me know. We had a huge launch last June. It is available on demand. You can go buy it at any point in time. You can go to my courses. I linked it up above my courses page to find out more about it. But financial fitness basics is if you're like, I don't even know where to start. Like, I don't know how to read this P&L. What the heck is a balance sheet? What kind of taxes do I need to pay, right? Like all those basics around your finances, that's the place to start. And it's a crash course. It is available completely on demand. And it is only roughly 3 hours of video. It's not a lot. And it also comes with some resources embedded in it. There's your own P&L template that you can use if you don't want to use the software yet, right? There's a cash flow template in there. There are other things that can help you. My templates are fairly famous, you guys. So you probably want to, I saw yours come through actually, Jody. And I was like, Jody with the monkey on her head. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Joanne. Yes. Good. Yay. Yeah. So it's just kind of that kickstart to be like, okay, I want to just make sure that when I go into conversations with my CPA, I feel like I understand, like, how are my taxes calculated? What entity type should I be? Right? Should I be an LLC? What the heck's the difference between a sole proprietor and an LLC and an S Corp and a C Corp, right? We talk about all of that. We have a whole bonus module on S Corps. If you're an S Corp and you're like, I don't know if I'm doing things the way I'm supposed to, and maybe you realize with COVID that you weren't paying yourself a reasonable salary, whatever it is. We talk about all of that in the basics course. So it's a great place to start, available on demand. We've got some great bonuses out there too. Yay, that's awesome. You guys are so awesome. So it's a great place to start. The next level, if you're like, I think I'm pretty good, pretty decent on the basics, right? I don't know if I need a full refresher there. If what you're dealing with, if what you're struggling with is more strategic, right? How do I price? Like, what should my pricing be? Whether you're a product or service business, I work with both. Product or service business, or you're a self-employed person, right? I work with all of those people. And we have a program called Financial Fitness Formula. It's my signature program. It's my baby, you guys. It's my baby. It has a live element to it as well. It's recorded. The main course content is recorded, but there is a live element to it too. It's not for sale right now though. So if you guys think I'm pitching something, I'm actually not. I do want you to go check out my waitlist for it though. Sometimes our waitlist members get some extra perks. So if you want to join the waitlist, jamietrull.com/FFF. It'll also tell you about Financial Fitness Formula. We just dropped the last module for our class on Monday. So that one has a whole Facebook group with it. We have accountability pods. We have, thanks, Joanne. Joanne is one of my star students in FFF this time. Thanks, Jody. Yes. So we are starting again. Like last year, I only opened it once, but we've had a lot of questions because I think January when we opened it, it wasn't a great time for a lot of people. So we're going to open it twice this year. I don't know if we're going to do that in the future, but we're going to open it again. We don't have a date yet. Late summer, early fall, in that realm, because I know summer gets crazy and I'm a mom and I can't commit to doing anything during the summer time, but late summer, early fall, be on the lookout, but join the waitlist now because it's only going to be open for a little less than a week, probably. So you have to enroll in that time period or we're going to close it down. Yes, Mark is in there. So even open to men. We are probably about 90% women, just FYI on that, but men are 100% open to join. Oh, Jocelyn, you're so great. You're so great. Yeah, Jocelyn's one of my star students too. Actually, she was our star student of the week this week. She got a little present in the mail for being a star student. And it is just my favorite thing. And I love working and getting to know you guys so much better in that course. So yeah, JamieTrull.com /FFF. You can find out all the information about it. It comes with a whole bunch of templates, and we walk through step by step how to go from pricing your products, increasing your profit margins, what to spend money on, how to have a plan for your cash flow that's going to work for you. We touch a little bit on mindset because I'm kind of big on all of the mindset. I think that that's part of it. Oh, Tony's here too. Yes, Tony. Thank you. She's in FFF right now too. So I just wanted to make sure you guys are aware of what I do, because I get that question a lot where people are like, I see you and I listen to your lives, but like, what is your actual business? My business is digital courses and programs to help you with financial literacy and strategy, becoming your own CFO, right? Becoming the CFO of your own business. Yay, this is awesome. You guys are so great. But like I said, I will always continue to show up here and give you guys free information as well. We have an amazing team of moderators now in this group. So this is, again, financial literacy for women business owners. If you're watching me over on YouTube, make sure to come on over and join us on Facebook. And right now, we've just recently added a new community manager. So you guys know Lindsay. Lindsay's still going to be around. She's just moving more towards my paid programs. But Crystal Vinson is our brand new community manager. She is wonderful. We love her. She's here to direct you to resources. So if you're asking a question in the group, a lot of times you'll get an answer from Crystal that'll direct you to resources that exist either on my YouTube channel, on my website, in a previous live, in a previous post, right? All of those things. We also have just added to our moderation team Autumn Howell. So she's going to be helping us, and she's a community member that was just killing it. You guys know Autumn, right? In all this stimulus stuff. I can't be in the group as much as I want to be, because I have a business to run as well. And so I wanted somebody who could help with some of those stimulus related questions. And so we have recently made Autumn, who's here, you guys know Autumn, a moderator in the group too for a temporary time period, just to help you guys answer those questions and also to direct you to the resources that you need. And she's so wonderful. I mean, that was an obvious choice, because literally every time I would look in the Facebook group, Autumn would already have answered with a great answer. And she's really up on all of this stuff. So we have an awesome team of moderators that are all helping you, not just me. It is a team effort to be able to give you guys the content that you need. A great place to start if you're looking for, like I said, Q&A, like resources for stimulus stuff, and you want to know what's going on, always going back and watching my last Friday Q&A. That's a great place to start. I have YouTube playlists on a lot of this content. We have a PPP playlist. So going back and looking for that is a great place in order to find information. I also have an email list. I would love for you guys to join. I'm constantly sending out, it's sometimes general financial literacy topics. Oftentimes it's stimulus updates. So that's a great place too. So go to JamieTrull.com /newsletter, and you can sign up for that. I'm slightly inconsistent in the emails that I send. I don't spam, don't worry. And it's great. So that's me. That's this group. And I love showing up for you guys. There's so many of you guys that show up for me, and I see you. And it's one of my favorite things, being able to show up and engage with you guys on all of these different topics. Let's talk about a couple of other things. If you do need services, okay? So that, again, I don't offer services. I can't do a consult on the employee retention credit. I don't do taxes. But I have an amazing list, an all-female list of preferred vendors. It's also linked above as well. So we have bookkeepers, we have CPAs, we have financial planners. Okay, you guys, financial planners. If you're looking for retirement options, if you're looking for somebody to sit down and consult with you on what you need to be doing with your finances and from a personal standpoint, we have those. We have consultants and virtual CFOs. Okay, we have a list of fully vetted people that I've sat down and talked to. These are all women that are a part of kind of a program that I've created of preferred vendors. And we cap the amount of preferred vendors that we have. We make sure that they are quality people. And we love our preferred vendors. So if you're looking for somebody for taxes, bookkeeping, all of those things, like I said, I do recommend you have a team around you. a lot of people have asked, one of the things, yes, April's on here. Hang on. Yeah. Oh, sorry. April's on here. So April is one of our preferred vendors. She's amazing. So I actually sit down. We have an application process. So there's a full-on application that you have to go through. And I actually sit down with every single one of the people that we think could be good fits, and I have conversations with them. We sometimes look at kind of what, obviously, like their website and all the information that's out there. We talk to them about the type of businesses they serve. We make sure also that we have a variety of people that serve various different types of businesses, right? From the small self-employed service provider all the way up to, I've got 10 brick and mortar restaurants, right? So we try to make sure that there is something for everybody. And we really get to know them. So again, this is a situation, and Gloria here is another one of our, she's a consultant, small business consultant. You can ask questions to about all kinds of topics around sort of financial strategy. But we know that people need kind of that extra help sometimes, and we do recommend that you have a support team to help you. I always am, the reason also that I created this group, to go back to that, is that I think that there's a lot of misinformation on the internet, right? We all know that. We can all agree to that. And I can't say that there's never information in my group. I think it's important to look at the source, if it's coming from a moderator or a preferred vendor or myself, right? To make sure that you're looking at the source of where the information is coming from that you're getting. But it's a great place to ask, for opinions from other business owners, and to look for the information that you need. It's also a great place to double check things. I think that is one of the things people really like about this group, is that they come here, they hear something, and then they come here to say, okay, is this true or not? Does this jive with what other people are seeing? And it also can be a check, especially these days, with what your accountants, your bookkeepers, and things like that are telling you. So I know specifically with COVID-19 relief, there are a lot of people that come into the group and they're like, my accountant doesn't know anything about this, or I try to reach them and they're not reaching back to me. And so I think the best case scenario is having somebody that you trust doing these things, but then also empowering yourself and educating yourself as a business owner. So there are no bad questions. You can come here with any question. A lot of times people will say something like, well, why do you go into Facebook to get your financial advice? Well, of course, this should never be the only source of financial advice that you're getting. You always want to double check sources and make sure that you're getting down to the root of something. I don't give advice. Okay, I'm a CPA, but I'm not your CPA. So I don't give advice, but I do explain concepts. And I try to keep you up to date on what's going on. But the purpose of that is then for you to take that back and have those conversations with the service providers in your life, or to find a service provider who you can have those conversations with. So I'm not meant to be anybody's CPA. Okay, I'm not signing your tax returns, but I am here as a source of information for you so that you can be more empowered and you can step into that role of CFO of your business. Because a lot of people have realized, right, even when you have service providers around you, and even if they're fantastic service providers, no one's going to care or know as much about your business as you do. So you have to be empowered in financial knowledge and education in order to be your own advocate, right? Especially in the COVID-19 world, you can miss out on a heck of a lot of money if you just rely on your accountant to tell you what's going on. We've realized that now. It's the same in a lot of things, right? It's the same when you're making decisions. You never want to give over decisions on pricing and profit margins and how to spend your cash. Like, that shouldn't be something sitting with an accountant. That should be sitting with you, with perhaps input from an accountant, but you need to be educated to make those decisions on what's best for your business. I'm a really, really big advocate of education and financial education in your business. Yeah, so this is exactly it. Like, so many people are posting this, that they don't have somebody that knows this information or isn't giving them this information. And so this is a great way for people to go back to their service providers and feel empowered in that conversation and feel like you have a leg to stand on, right? And I think that that's true whether you're having conversations about COVID-19 stimulus relief or you're having conversations about your tax return on a normal basis, right? When you're educated, it is so much easier to have that conversation. I think of it like, I don't know. This I think this is a woman thing again for me anyway. At least it's a thing for me. I am not a car person. So I hate going when I take my car in to get service and they're like, here are the 17 things you need to get done. And I'm like, but what do I really need to do? Right? Like, what do I really need to do? And so when I'm able to like do some research and I feel like I know what I'm talking about, then I feel like I can walk into those situations and feel a little bit more empowered in making decisions versus just relying on somebody else to tell me what to do, who may or may not have my best interest at heart, right? You have your best interest at heart. So get educated on the things you need to be educated in. It's also going to help you actually take your business to the next level, right? That's what I want. Okay. All right. So that is, let's see, I made an outline kind of. I usually don't. I made an outline. I just wanted to make sure. I also just real quick, I want to remind people about the group rules. We do have group rules. They're mainly around respectfulness, being supportive. There are no dumb questions here. We don't judge other people. We don't get in political arguments, y'all. We don't do that. I know a lot of this stuff kind of is on the line of, especially lately, the political world, but, opinions on political things we don't need here. Let's talk about the actual facts of what's going on, right? That's what I try to do. We're really big on diversity, equity, and inclusion. So, you will see men in our group because we are inclusive, right? We are big on making sure that, that we are creating an environment where people feel like they belong. Okay. So that is really, really important. People do get removed from the group if they are not living in line with those and posting in line with those guidelines. So make sure that when you're posting, you're looking at groups. We also don't allow for, things like promotion and all of that, the normal group rules that we have, just so that it doesn't become spam city in the group. So that's kind of how we run things around here. But anyway, welcome if you're new, or hello again if you're not new. And I will see you back here. I already see people asking questions on the stimulus stuff. I will be back here on Friday, I promise, talking more about the stimulus stuff. Oh, this is a good question. So I want to like make this a thing. Flobo, right? I think it needs to be Flobo, or is it Flubu? I don't know. Y'all tell me how we pronounce this, because technically we're adding an extra O when we do it, right? Because it's really financial literacy. Maybe we say of. Should I change it to financial literacy of women business owners instead of for? I don't know. Because I feel like FLWBO is Flubu, or I don't know. But we're making that a thing. We might need hats. I don't know. Maybe stickers. I'm not sure. Anyway, you guys are awesome. Check out the group. Make sure you're doing searches. Make sure that you are engaging and being supportive and helpful to people. And and let's just empower each other, because there's so much more that we can do together than we do separate. It's not about competition. This is not a place of scarcity, right? This is a place of abundance. This is a place where we come and we can help out one another and amplify ourselves, and hopefully get over that dang 4% revenue, right? Like that needs to be quite a bit higher. All right, you guys. I agree. All right, guys, I will see you on Friday, and I think it's time for coffee. So bye, guys.